Turn that damn juice on!
Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon. This afternoon, as fellas, we have quite the new backdrop here. We are live at Hot Springs for Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas at the Hot Springs Marina. And we've been talking about this. We've been promoting this. But, guys, it's good to see you in person. It's good to be next to the water. It's good to be next to the marina. Got boats. It's a nice day. We're outside, and we're at Freedom Boat Club here at the Hot Springs Marina. How are the vibes?
I mean, it's hard to deny the vibes at this point, man. This is awesome out here. It's a little warm, but I feel like it's been warmer. It might just be a deal where they knew we were going to be out here chilling today, and so John got us a nice setup. We got some, we got the fans going a little bit. Some clouds covering the sun from time to time, the water in the background. This is awesome, man. This is a really cool place. I haven't spent that much time at marinas, to be honest with you. I thought it was just a place where you, come out and get in a boat and hop in. They got all kinds of stuff over here that you can rent out, and it's a pretty sick little spot. And they got a little looks like a bar situation going on right next door. There's a lot going on out here. This is a cool place to be.
It is a cool place to be. Now that I'm really thinking about it, I should have threw on a life jacket for the stream, but,
Yeah.
you live and you learn. It's great to be out here. It's great to be outside. Like you said, it's warm, but we're shaded. We got some fans. We're feeling pretty good, and I feel great. The vibes are great. Football is so close. You can literally taste it and sniff it and smell it. The bad news is, though, we got to talk about this Arkansas secondary, and I have mean things to say. But I'm going to do it with a smile on my face, because we're having a great time here at Freedom Boat Club.
Doom and gloom, Andrew.
Yeah.
I've got my water skis on. You just can't see them in the camera. So
Yeah. Well, that's listen. We're still, even though we're having a great time here at Freedom Boat Club, and it's a great setup. Yeah, we're still going to talk the Hogs, and we're still going to have plenty of things to discuss and have plenty of fun to go around. But just as a reminder to everybody that they got a great deal going on with Freedom Boat Club right now, where if you just text the words Inside Arkansas, which is our company name, I don't know if y'all knew that. Inside Arkansas to 501-270-6477. That's 501-270-6477. It's right there on your screen. You text that, you get 50% off your initiation fee right here for the first 5 members that are able to be a part of it in here at Freedom Boat Club. So we'll have more to tell you about that. But, go ahead and give that a text, and they'll tell you all about the great information about Freedom Boat Club, what to offer, and 50% off your initiation fee here with Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas. So, we'll have a lot more to discuss there. Again, we'll have Razorback topics to get into. We'll have all the things going on in the sports world. We'll have our heavy hitters presented by HD Roofing and Construction. But, guys, we were a few minutes after the fact, which, listen, at this point in time, if you listen to Inside Arkansas Live, we're not late just because we want to be. There's usually a reason. And this time of year, it's for press conferences that are going to be going on. And today we got to hear from Razorback safety coach Marcus Woodson. And we'll switch up today. I think it was supposed to be Deke Adams, but instead it was Marcus Woodson. And we have some clips that we'll possibly play. But, guys, I know, Andrew, you kind of already teased it, but what were your overall thoughts from today on the press conference from Marcus Woodson and the safeties?
a lot that was said today, like a lot of words. This is one they've usually been starting. They're scheduled, like the peek behind the curtain thing here. These are usually scheduled for about 11:45, and they start like 10 to 15 minutes late, and that's why we're usually late starting. This one was actually moved up to 11:30, and it got started at like 11:35-ish and ran past. So this might have been the longest press. This might have been longer than Bobby yesterday, honestly. So a lot that was said there. They went a little bit more into the weeds with Woodson than they have. They were asking him about being a head coach and the the perks of having these interviews and working on professional development. Like, they really got into the weeds today. As far as the football stuff is concerned, it's a lot of what we've been hearing. The secondary, it's big, man. It's huge. They got a lot of big bodies back there, a lot of older players, but it's a lot of new faces, so they're trying to put guys into the right spots there. We talk so much about like Mike Washington and, all the hype that's surrounding him and everything. When I think about the defensive side of the ball, I've been hearing a whole lot about Larry Worth, and we know that he's big and athletic, and he's got all those measurables that test through the roof and everything like that. But from the sounds of it, whether it's from Marcus Woodson or Travis Williams or whoever else has talked about him, this seems like a guy who is maybe really putting it together here in year 2 for Arkansas, and they expect big things out of him.
Yeah, I mean, this time last year, Larry Worth was a guy that I don't know if we were all forecasting. I mean, we thought he was a linebacker when he first got to Arkansas. I don't know if we had massive expectations for him. he wound
He
up
was
really
a
working.
spring portal guy, yeah.
Yeah, he wound up being a guy that worked into that starting rotation. By the end of the year, was one of the more consistent defenders, and so I feel like he was a bright spot for last year. You think about what they're going to have to replace. Not that they had a star-studded group last year by any means, but I mean, Jaden Johnson, 4-year starter for you. Hudson Clark, 4-year starter for you. Yet TJ Metcalf was their most dynamic player. So they had some things to fill. I feel like having Larry Wirth and his stability, one, I mean, you know, people always say that looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane. He doesn't play like Jane, but he certainly looks like Tarzan. Definitely just a big physical specimen. And like you said, that big length is kind of the theme of this secondary group here. But I've kind of wondered, I've been looking all offseason for the answer because everyone's been saying, hey, the secondary is going to be improved. And, you know, they probably should be if you look at on paper what they did last year. But why is that? What is the case for them being improved? Because if you look at it position by position, I think, you know, Scandrett and Wirth are kind of similar to what Johnson and Metcalf provided for them at the safety position. You go on down. I mean, Julian Neal, what's the difference between him and Marquise Robinson? What's the difference between some of these guys and Nico Slaughter? You know what I mean? Like Jordan Young and Nico Slaughter is really not a ton of separation there. And so what is the case for why this group would be vastly improved? We didn't really get that answer today. It was more just kind of the typical coach speak stuff. And I want to give Marcus Woodson credit because there has never been anyone who is more of an unk than Marcus Woodson. Like I can't even imagine what he was like when he was like 20. I just feel like he was born to be an old man, you know, and just kind of speak that way. And so he had all the cliches you can think of, all the coach speak. And like you said, they talked about him possibly being a head coach. And so you could tell he doesn't mind having a mic in front of his face. He doesn't mind talking, but it was a lot of, you know, oh, we got to hold ourselves accountable. We got to communicate. We got to have goals and we got to get better and we got to do this. Wasn't really a ton about the different skill sets that these guys actually bring to the table and what they're going to do. He did say they want to play a little bit more man coverage, which, you know, I'm all for.
We always hear that, and then it
winds
winds up not being a great idea.
We didn't really get, you know, the question of, hey, you guys gave up 800 yards on Saturday. What was up with that? We didn't really get that, and we didn't get an explanation for how that went about. It does seem like he likes this group, though, and you kind of expected that to be the case, but I don't know if we really learned a whole lot during this press conference that was an hour and a half long.
Yeah, it seemed like at some point, you know, I was looking forward to hearing from a lot of these coaches, not all of them in some capacity. But the Marcus Woodson thing I've always been a fan of, and I think that he's, you know, done a fairly good job, and it seems like he's got a pretty bright future of possibly being a head coach at some point. But I'm sitting there and I'm listening to it, and it's just kind of like I was writing down each and every question that got asked and what it was about, and I'm like, I have like 4 times that J.J. Shelton was mentioned. And it's like I got like 3 times of Miguel Mitchell got mentioned. It's like I got things of Jordan Young. I got things of, you know, the veteran group, or, hey, how do you work on communication? Well, you communicate more, you know? So it's like, and I'm not like just trying to hate on it. It was just more of like you said, Andrew, it's not anything that I heard today from the press conferences being like, okay, well, this is okay. Now I see what this is about, or that this looks good, or anything like that. It just seems like it's a blind hope to where it's like, okay, I know they're big, seem to have athleticism and speed, but after that Saturday scrimmage where they gave a bunch of big plays, which communication came down to it's like, I don't know. I'm still as weary as I've been, and I know we've been from the defense and what we've heard so far. There was nothing really from the press conference today where I'm like, okay, well, I can at least count on this guy, or at least going to know what this guy. I have no idea what this secondary and this safety position is going to look like once season starts. I have no idea.
I mean, it's a big question. It's something that I think we're going to have to wait to see. Maybe we'll feel a little bit better after Saturday, because if things go according to script with these scrimmages, it'll be flipped on Saturday, and it's, defense made the huge improvements. Yeah, the secondary was much, much better. We eliminated those explosive plays, but then the offense kind of got us in red zone and everything. Like, if it goes according to plan, it'll be flipped, and then I'll feel a little bit better about the defense at least, or the back end there. But I think they're still very much trying to figure it out. And this is what happens when you have so many new faces, or guys who are going to be in increased roles or different roles for you, who are coming back from last season, and is trying to figure out exactly where all these bodies fit. So they feel good about Larry Wirth. He's going to be back there. I thought that there was some good stuff said about Miguel Mitchell, because he was a guy who you didn't see anything. You know, he was injured. You didn't see much from him at all throughout the course of the season. And then once you knew you could preserve that red shirt and he was healthy, all of a sudden they had that game against Ole Miss that everything went to hell, and they're like, we're making wholesale changes in the secondary. And then Miguel Mitchell, he's starting and he's playing, and he looks pretty good in there. So you're like, all right, maybe they have something. And, you know, one of the things he said about him, I'm pretty sure it was Miguel, he was talking about saying, hey, if I'm ever a defensive coordinator or somewhere, he's going to be my defensive backs coach. Like, he's a student of the game, very, very smart, very sharp, has come a long way. So is he somebody who can elevate into a role there? maybe so. It'll be really interesting. But I think a lot of it hinges on they're going to need both of those guys returning back there to be significantly better versions of what they were last season. They're banking on it being – it's kind of the same thing we're talking about with Taylor Green in the offense. Year 2 in the system, you're more comfortable, you're playing instead of thinking, and then it'll all trickle out from there because they have – like he said, they have older guys who are experienced, who play a lot of football. Caleb Wooten's back there. Jordan Young is back there. You have a lot of Contavious Scandrett's back there. So many different guys that you can, essentially plug and play. But who's going to be ready to get out there and do it? I just don't think they have the answers just yet.
Yeah, and I think what gives me more hope about the secondary than maybe the D-line, because the D-line, it's not a long list of guys you can list off. There's not a ton of actual D1 FBS experience there on that D-line, at least in the secondary, specifically at safety alone and safety kind of nickel, because I know Marcus Woodson, which, by the way, we have to stop every fall camp. We ask Marcus Woodson about the intricacies. Wait a minute, you coach safeties and another guy coaches corners. What's that like? Hold on. How do y'all handle that balance? We do this every fall camp, and it's like it's the same thing. I'm the safeties and nickels coach. He's the corners coach. Sometimes we come together. Sometimes we switch. It's not that big of a deal. I'm tired of hearing about that. But you like again the depth and the experience back there. The thing that I'm interested about, because like you said, I don't know if they know for sure who they're going to start. And unlike the D line, it's not for lack of options. Really, the way I see it, you've got your 2 safety spots in your nickel. Potentially, they'll run some 3 safety looks. They did a little bit of that last year. But I mean, you got Larry Worth and Miguel Mitchell, your 2 returners there. But then you've got Scandrett. Then you've got Wooden, the guy from Auburn that they really like. And you've got Jordan Young, who was not there in the spring. But looking at resume, when he did at Cincinnati, he's one of their more interesting transfers on paper.
Really undervalued pickup.
That's basically 5 guys that are competing for 3 spots. And now, again, will they get creative? Will they mix and match? Will they move guys around? I'm sure, but I'm interested to see who rises to the top of that little battle there. But what I do like about it, and again, what gives me a lot more confidence in the D-line, Larry Worth, senior, 5th year, been at Arkansas, been around. Miguel Mitchell, senior, been in the SEC 3 years, been around. Young, senior, been around a while. Scandrett, senior, been around a while. Wooden, I think he might be a redshirt junior, but been in the SEC, had 500 SEC snaps. So there's at least something to work with. And I think Marcus Woodson, I mean, again, when you listen to these coaches speak, Marcus Woodson does not give you the idea that he's just winging it. He's a very structured, business-oriented guy, like doesn't really mess around. So I have no doubt he's going to find some answers and, get that group playing well. I just don't know if when I look at it and compare it to last year that I see a massive talent difference or that I see different resumes. Because, I mean, you look, everything I just said about this group, you could have said last year. Hudson Clark, senior. Jaden Johnson, senior. Like, you could go on down the line and do that same thing, and you aren't replacing your most dynamic player in TJ Metcalf. And so I just don't know if there's going to be a vast difference. But based on how things went last year and how things went last week of the scrimmage, there's nowhere to go but up. And so I imagine they're going to find some type of answers with this group.
Yeah.
Just as a reminder, we're here live from Freedom Boat Club at the Hot Springs Marina. Text Inside Arkansas to 501-270-6477 for more information on them. And first 5 members to join get a 50% off their initiation fee with Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas. And also, too, with the secondary side of things, I think we discussed it as far as sometimes the secondary may be unfairly marked as far as, they just see, passing yardage given up, secondary sucks, but it's not always the case. Cause again, if you don't have a pass rush, and I think that's honestly what is the most worrisome thing to me about this Razorback defense right now, at least, is not necessarily about, the specific groups, but it's like none of it's going to matter if you can't get to the quarterback. This secondary could be improved and it's not going to matter if you can't get to the quarterback. And from what it sounds like, they don't really have a whole lot of great options there. I know Justice Boone has been mentioned and, Quincy Rhodes and all of that, but it just starts up front. So it's almost like until I know that the pass rush is going to be there, at least in some capacity, I hate to be this way, but if the season were to start right now, if it was to start today and we were talking about predictions and all of that, I'd be looking at this Razorback defense and be like, guys, this may be another year where they give up. They're in the triple digits of rankings and an overall defense in the country. Like that's the vibe I'm getting if the season were to start today, now.
This strikes me as a shootout kind of team potentially. We'll see what it winds up looking like, but there could be a world here where coverage improved, pressure downgraded, and then so you kind of get similar results just for different reasons. That could very much be a thing there. I'm going to be really anxious to see because Travis will Sure, I have no doubt that they're high on Justice Boone, and sure, I think that they probably really do feel like Quincy Rhodes is ready to take that next step, and they probably feel like, okay, if it clicks for him or what, like if Phillip Lee figures out what we're trying to do here, he's a guy who can get to the quarterback. I'm sure that they believe all those things, but I also believe that Travis Williams isn't an idiot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so they're going to get creative in the way that they bring pressure and they get to the quarterback. You have all these linebackers that you're apparently excited about who can really play for you. You're trying to find ways to get more of them on the field and everything. I have a feeling that they're going to be utilized a little bit more, but there's give and take when you do those things, right? Because then you need somebody else on the back end to be able to step up and fill. There's a lot of nuance that goes into it because sometimes we're like, well, A plus B equals C, and that's not always the case because there's a lot of middle ground in between there. So when I think about Travis Williams, and we've been really impressed with a lot of things that he's done, and sometimes they falter towards the end of the season. But overall, I think he's a really, really sharp, young defensive mind with a hell of a future ahead of him. This is going to be a great coaching challenge for him because I think you have a pretty clearly defined weakness or hole, whatever you want to call it, on your defense. How can you work right? It's the same thing we're talking about when, the offensive line, they can't protect. And it's like, all right, well, we got to adjust by doing some quick outs and, different things to get the ball out in open space or feed your studs or whatever. It's the same thing on defense. If you have a clearly defined weakness and you have a clearly defined strength, how can you disguise one and maximize the other? And that's going to be part of the chess match there with Travis Williams game planning every single week this year.
Yeah, I think you bring up a really good point in that, this safety and this safety group and this secondary can be improved, but they're still kind of at the mercy of some of these other groups. And it's going to be fascinating. One of the classic fall camp bits that we hear, virtually every year is, last year we were doing this schematic thing, and we're not going to have to do that this year because now we feel like we have the personnel. And that's one thing that Marcus Woodson touched on today is, hey, last year we were having to run a lot of zone coverage because we didn't feel like we can guard guys. Now we think we're going to run primarily man-to-man stuff, and we're going to mix in zone as a changeup. That was the exact terminology he used, which, again, sounds great in theory. But, again, if you can't rush the passer, are you really going to be able to man up guys and just leave your guys out there guarding for 8 seconds one-on-one? That's kind of tough. And so that's going to be fascinating to see how all that plays out. One thing that I do think is important, and, we talk about the size of this group, which secondary, have we ever talked about size in the secondary as much as we have this year?
No.
Length, I can hear, you like your corners to be long. I don't know if I've heard this much about size in the secondary.
There's been
especially for a group that gives up a lot of big plays. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But tackling is going to be a huge thing because I think last year you look at some of the times when it went wrong, it was when they missed tackles. In the one game that everything clicked was the Tennessee game where they didn't miss any tackles. And so perhaps there's some give and take there as well. I also just think back to some of the years. They had a lot of injuries, and that's going to be a huge thing. That was another thing. I mean, last year, Jalen Braxton's supposed to be your number one cover corner. He's injured. Hudson Clark missed some time. Miguel Mitchell missed some time. You had all these different factors that kind of led to you not being able to be at your best. We'll see. Obviously, got to knock on wood there, but I do think that I can buy the improvement of
particular players that we mentioned, and Miguel Mitchell, I'm not hating, but when have we ever heard a player get mentioned to be like, oh, I could see him as being a coach or a coach of mine, and it means that like that player's like really good. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to be that guy, but
especially in the secondary, nobody's ever said that about a secondary player that's been. Because the guys that I heard about recently were Hudson Clark and Simeon Blair, which are two fan favorites that everybody loved.
Yeah, that's just, I don't know. And again, it's fine. I get it. But I just always have felt like anytime that's a mention by a player, it's just, he's a guy that's really smart out there, that's really well versed in the defense and knows what he's supposed to be doing, but maybe just doesn't have the athletic or the ability to be that level of a player. So, maybe, hopefully I'm wrong. Maybe it's something with Miguel Mitchell, but that was the first thing I thought of. I was like, oh, geez.
I did think that was interesting when he mentioned Miguel Mitchell as like the highest football IQ. And I can't remember if it was Tom or Trey that was like, so why didn't he play last year? Like, what was going on? And he was banged up there at the beginning of the year, but like, you're right. Like, it just kind of came out of nowhere. They're like, you know what? Let's play Miguel Mitchell. Let's just see what happens here. And so maybe they found something there. Who knows?
Was that the best thing that has happened to Travis Williams, is giving up 9,000 yards against Ole Miss and just saying, hey, you know what? Screw it, guys. We're a whole new secondary, man. If you were in for that game, buddy, you're out after this bye week. And maybe they identified some things there because it is kind of when, Miguel started coming along, and that's really when Larry Wirth started to figure it out a little bit. So I don't know, maybe there's something to it.
Yeah, could be.
Thank you, Jackson Dart.
Yes, yeah. Thank you for setting records last year. We appreciate it. It was very nice of you to do in Fayetteville.
You're welcome. By the way, he should be sending the University of Arkansas monthly payments. Because his draft stock went up tremendously. It was right around that same time. I don't know. Did he end up going in the first round? Come on.
Yeah.
That was remember those 24 hours, Andrew? We drove to Fort Worth. We saw Arkansas basketball lose to TCU at the end of an exhibition game. We got up before dawn, drove back to Fayetteville, only for Arkansas football to lose and give up 100 points to Ole Miss. That was a rough day.
We got back just in time for that game. Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
Again, folks, we're here live at Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas at the Hot Springs Marina. Be sure to text Inside Arkansas to 501-270-6477 as the first 5 members to be a part of Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas get a 50% off your initiation fee when you mentioned Inside Arkansas. So, but also want to remind everybody that we are brought to you by our friends over at Basis Health, where they are changing the way that healthcare is delivered by providing mobile medical visits to the comfort of your very own home. A doctor will come to your home for urgent care, primary care, IV hydration, and so much more. So check them out and learn more about Basis Health by going to basishealth.org today. It's basishealth.org. All right, so we'll get to a few of your chats because we'll have some other things to dive into as we're talking a lot of secondary here from Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas. Like most of it's just about our attire and about the lake and us being here.
Good,
but that's what's really what's the more important thing. Yeah, it's really the most important thing.
Don't yell at us about this defense.
Let's talk about our vibes being over here in water while you're sitting over there with your terrible jobs in a cubicle. We're over here hanging out next to the water, but. I thought this was interesting just from Evan, where he says, I never understood why they didn't shell out money for a big pass rusher since we lost Jackson, just to replace and get us back to par. Now, the reason I find that pretty fascinating, which is it's an interesting comment, it's like I always felt like, if you think about, if I was the coach and I had the NIL budget and all this, it's like, man, pass rusher, at least 2 of them, just because you know what the impact has on your defense, like that's just something I would go all in on every year, just making sure you got at least 2 elite level guys. And then, you want to have solid players surrounding them. But that is kind of the thing where I was a little perplexed by, where this Justice Boone guy is kind of the big defensive end transfer that you have in. And maybe it works out, maybe it's fine. But, yeah, it's just if you don't have them, then it's like, what was the point of all that then?
They moneyballed it.
Yeah.
They moneyballed it in the portal at most positions there. And maybe that's just the situation that they were in. And I also understand that there are certain positions that come at a premium. Left tackle comes at a premium. Well, you went out and got one of the best ones. So maybe that's an area where you overpaid or upped the ante a little bit and you knew that you had to sacrifice somewhere else. But, yeah, going into portal season, we talked about it a million times. Like if we had to make a hierarchy of needs, a legit SEC dude type of pass rusher was going to be at or very near the top of that list. And I keep going back to, I remember the press conference vividly because I was in Connecticut. It's when I was at the Michigan basketball game, and then I was at the in-laws' place and everything. And Sam Pittman was talking about portal season and everything, and everybody leaving. It's when he addressed Kudus and all that stuff. And I remember him saying, he was doing the whole, we might be able to get 2 or 3 guys for the price of what this guy's asking or whatever. But then he did say, we have money now. We have money. And if we need to overpay to get somebody because we know he's the one, we can do it. And I just feel like maybe they did it at left tackle and they didn't do it off the edge. And so they're trying to piece it together with Moneyball, with high upside guys or guys that they think can bounce back from an injury, like Justice Boone, for example, and hope that they can figure it out that way. I just think that's super, super risky. And maybe they tried and they just got outbid by Georgia or LSU or Ole Miss, the heavy hitters out there who actually do have more money to throw around.
Do you remember the name of that kid that was a transfer from Georgia, and he was a defensive tackle, and he hadn't played a ton at Georgia, but it seemed like it was a done deal for Arkansas, and then they got outbid for that one, at least it seemed. I wonder if that was maybe an eye-opener for them because, again, he wasn't an impact player at Georgia. He played a little bit on the D-line, but wasn't like a 6-sack guy at Georgia, and they got outbid for him. And so I wonder if that was maybe a moment where they're like, whoa, okay, we're not getting a Power 5 portal guy. We're just not, it's just not happening. I think the one thing that because I think this is 100% a fair question of like, how did, you knew what the situation was. And I go back to the bowl game when you had all these practices, because a big part of this equation with this Arkansas D line is that you look at it and Quincy Rhodes and Cam Ball are pretty much the only two players that Arkansas recruited and developed on the D-line that are going to contribute this season that we know for sure. Charlie Collins, we'll see. I mean, Sam didn't really talk glowingly about him the other day. Kavion Henderson, we have not heard a word about him since he arrived on campus. And I think that's a part of the equation. If you're not going to get contributions from those guys who are in your system and need to be developing and contributing, it puts more pressure. And so I think that, again, they probably realize, hey, we're not going to be able to get some of these top guys. And so you said they moneyballed it. So they bring in, 3-4 pass rushers.
Yeah.
You pretty much have to hit on all those guys at that point. And, maybe they have, maybe they haven't. We won't really find out until the season, but haven't heard promising reports regarding Phillip Lee. We haven't heard anything regarding David Oki. And so it's like, you really can't afford to have that. When you're in the situation that Arkansas is in and you're not really able to recruit high school kids at a high level on the D-line, you're not really able to go out there and get those high-end portal guys on the D-line, although they have done it before in the past. You really need to have like a 100% hit rate. And so there's just a lot of pressure on these transfers they brought in. Seems like Justice Boone is at least going to give them a starting level player there. The June Kaj aspect is also something that I think they thought they might get him back. Sam even said it in a press conference. He's like, we think we're going to be able to get him back. They didn't get him back, and that's another potential starter. And then you also have Nico Davier that they let walk for God knows why.
Yeah. No, actually, I even forgot about Nico Davier. It's just like sometimes I'll think of those random players. Like I just remembered Rashad Dabinian this morning. I was him.
App State's finest.
It's like him. I forgot that guy was on the team.
Well, and look, it wasn't like when Nico Davier entered the portal, it wasn't like a holy cow, what's going on? But it's like if you're gonna let him walk, you kind of have to replace him with somebody, and it just doesn't seem like they really cared.
And Razorback fans, I think I'm not going to say they've been spoiled because it's not like the defensive line has just been elite all year, but you've always, at least since Sam Pittman's been here, kind of had at least one guy to count on and be elite level. And, even in the early parts of it, they had problems with the defensive line in depth, but you had Big John Ridgeway, so it's like you knew that you had him. And then right after that, you had Drew Sanders, which I know he wasn't D-line, but he was a pass rusher that you could really count on, one of the best ones. And then you also had Landon Jackson, and he had Landon Jackson, and then Landon Jackson again. So it's like you always had these guys to count on. And this is going to be a year to where I'm not saying for sure it's going to be this way, but this if the D-line is as not capable of getting to the quarterback like it's looking and sounding like that right now, this could be something to where it's all these new quarterbacks we've talked about that Arkansas is going to be going up against. You're going to make them look like Heisman Trophy winners, because what is better for a young quarterback than to have plenty of time in the pocket to make a decision? These new guys are just going to rip you apart, and it's going to get out of hand quick, fast, and in a hurry. And
it's tough because when you look at some of the moves they made, there is a past blueprint for success for it. Like you mentioned Ridgeway there. They went out and got David Oki, who's really, really good FCS player. But by this time in camp, we were hearing all about Ridgeway. Like, okay, this dude's a game wrecker, and you haven't heard that for David Oki. And maybe he winds up, emerging as we get to the season. Yeah, same idea with June Kaj there. And so that's part of it. Like and then you think, okay, well, that's not really working out. Well, who's a guy we didn't hear a whole bunch about in camp that wound up being really good as a passer? I think about we were talking about him on the way up here. Jordan Dominic.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
You didn't hear
guy.
A whole bunch about him. He was running with the threes and stuff in basketball, and then all of a sudden he winds up getting a bunch of sacks for you. He was pretty good. Maybe that's like a Phillip Lee can emerge and become that kind of guy. You're just not hearing about it right now. But it's uncomfortable when you have to bank on that. Yeah. And I'd be okay with it. You talked about Nico, and no, like he wasn't a world beater by any means, but he was an SEC starter. It's like if you had him back and you had Quincy Rhodes back, two guys who played quite a bit of football for you last year, and then you were doing this with, okay, can Justice Boone find what he had before his injury? Can we get this guy from Troy who can kind of play above his level a little bit? And that's our depth, then great. But like you legitimately need Quincy Rhodes to be better than he's ever been and emerge.
He needs to be Landon Jackson.
He needs to be like Landon Jackson, exactly. And you need these other guys to be SEC dudes and not just guys in the rotation who can help you. That's where it becomes a little bit troubling for me.
It's kind of jarring sometimes. Like last year, I remember being baffled by the snap counts on the D-line because they just, we would talk about how they didn't have depth. They didn't play the depth. Like they literally, Landon Jackson averaged about 60 snaps per game last year. That is unbelievable for an SEC. You will not see an SEC defensive end play that many snaps all year this year at anywhere. And you go back to 2022, which it's not even like in the moment. We didn't say this is like a world-beating D-line, but like you had depth. I mean, you had Landon Jackson over there. You had Jordan Dominic creating some havoc. You had Terry Hampton in the middle. You had Cam Ball behind him. You had Zach Williams. You had that kid from Jonesboro that got arrested in the casino. You had depth. You had like 8 or 9 guys that you rotated. They all played about 25, 30 snaps a game. That's what you do in the SEC. That's how it's supposed to be. Having those 7, 8 guys, it seems like they're going to be lucky if they have 6 guys that they can really go into each Saturday with, knowing they're going to play every week. And I do not want to know what these snap counts are going to look like. Like Cam Ball might have to play 50 snaps a game at nose tackle, which is like hard to do in the SEC. It's a lot of wear and tear on your body, man.
Better stay healthy.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
You got to stay healthy.
Yep. And it comes down to this, too, because I know we'll get to more chats and stuff, folks. But I just hate the game that we have to play. And it's what we have to do. We have to play this game of looking at not every single, but most of these groups, positions, players as risks. There's no guarantee. This is a risk. It's a high risk, high reward thing. Okay, you got this player that, hey, could be good. But it's just it's like building your hope on sand. It's like you just don't know. Yeah. Like you're hopeful for it. But I just wish that there was so much more, especially on this defense, that you could just be like, I know this is going to be great. I know this guy they got from the portal is going to be awesome. Because even I keep referencing it, but because things have changed. But that portal class that they had when they brought in Drew Sanders, Jaden Hazelwood, Landon Jackson, Dwight McGlothern, Latavius Brini, it's like I knew every one of those guys were going to play and contribute. Like I knew every one of them were going to. And now this year, it's kind of like, I feel like they're going to have to just by default. But it's
somebody
not like,
has. Yeah,
but it's not like I'm sitting there being like, man, they got these guys, and these guys, I saw them last year and saw what they were capable of. And I saw that so many other schools in the SEC were after them, so they had value. So I know coming here, they're going to be great. I just don't have any of that. And so it's almost like tiresome to try to, which again, you can be hopeful. It could work out. It might do it. But at this point in time of the year in fall camp, you're just like, let's hope. Let's hope it's good. Let's hope it works out. Let's hope the coaching helps out. Maybe they just need a new scheme, a new setup, but let's be hopeful. It's just a dangerous game to play.
This is what happens when you have 50 to 60 new faces on your roster, with that much turnover. And I've rolled my eyes a lot. I see it in the chat all the time when people are like, yeah, well, we're really not going to know what this Arkansas football team is until week 4 or whatever. And it's like, yeah, well, no, you're going to play for you. Of course. Yeah, you're going to, but I think there's actually something to that this year because there is just such a level of unknown with all these new faces who, if they're proven, they prove themselves at a lower level, or there's always a caveat. I feel like with each one of these guys, like you said, it could be a very high ceiling, and I'm sure some of them are going to hit and wind up being absolute studs for you. But it's more difficult this year than ever, I think, to pinpoint who those guys are going to be and where they're going to come from. So I really am, I think, buying into the whole deal about, well, yeah, we probably need to get through about that Memphis game and see who's really kind of settled in here to know what this team is.
Well, and to that point, last thing I'll say before we move on is, these things are always subject to change. Sometimes you think, hey, we're not that great at this position, but then one guy emerges and is a stud, and all of a sudden it changes the entire complexion. Last year, this time, it was linebacker. Because in the spring, Xavier Sorey didn't look like Xavier Sorey yet. They didn't have Steven Dix on campus. You had some other freshmen working in there. It was like, damn, what's going to happen is what was that kid from Dallas, the white kid that was the linebacker that was like starting for them last year in the spring? I can't remember his name. White kid from Dallas that ended up transferring out. Carson Dean.
Carson Dean.
Yes.
He was running with the ones in spring, and we were like, holy cow, Arkansas is in trouble at linebacker. All of a sudden, you add Steven Dix, you move Anthony Switzer down there, and it's like, hey, you know what? They've got something there. Bradley Shaw ends up being a pretty good player. And this time last year, we started hearing that in camp when they were like, hey, we think linebacker might be maybe our strength of the team. And so we changed the way we felt about it. And so for everyone that's like, man, y'all are just hating or whatever, it's like, listen, if tomorrow we hear from Deke Adams and he's like, listen, Phillip Lee, the light bulb went off. The last 3 days, he's been dominant. David Oki, light bulb went off. This dude has been crushing the last few days. Maybe we'll change. Maybe we'll feel a little bit differently, but we just haven't heard those things. And so going into a season, it's really hard for us to just go in blindly and be like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. Mm-hmm. And I understand why I want to do that, but it's like, I don't think it's okay. There's anything wrong with just kind of asking questions and being like, is this really going to work out?
Right. And the other, to your other part of the point is, go back and listen to yesterday's show. There was a lot of optimism from this group about the offense. When you're picked to finish 14th in the SEC, there are going to be question marks. Yeah. And maybe they're overhype or whatever. maybe they're not. And I think the question marks right now with this team are pretty clear. So we're going to talk about them, and we're kind of laying out the reasons here of this is how it could be better than it sounds. And no, it's not hating. It's just being realistic about where this team is at and the areas of concern if you're wondering about why this thing might go bad.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, Bobby Petrino is the only monotone person in the world that can get my nips hard with excitement because of what he's able to do and get you pumped up. And that's what he did yesterday.
Yeah.
So, but again, folks, Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas, we're live here from the Hot Springs Marina. Text Inside Arkansas to 501-270-6477 to get 50% off your initiation fee. Let's go a few of these chats. Speaking of being there, Bassin in the Ozark says, "Good Lord, what I would do to be at Lake Hamilton right now."
It's pretty nice out here.
It ain't bad.
Yeah, we've been we're living up the high life here. You know, we've had some pretty cool locations where we've done some live shows, but being on the lake on a day like today here at Lake Hamilton, it's really truly hard to beat. It's hard to beat.
Yeah,
but,
this is nice.
Yeah. Also, this is rough. Ron Garduno, our guy Derek Garduno, says, "Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought y'all would be in a boat. If I'm wrong, blame the cancer." Good grief. Okay.
Wow. We will not do that.
We're not going to blame that. But here's the thing: is that yes, it was a great thing in theory of being on a boat, and we could have done it, and it was just a matter of okay, but if the wind comes in and the waves come in, we're going to be rocking all over, and then y'all would be like, "Good grief, you're making me sick with motion sickness," and then it was just going to be an issue. So
internet also was.
We also would have had to run
off.
the run the cord through the lake.
Yeah, it would just be there would be a lot of things that again, but we are going to have some social media content after the fact of dealing with boats here at Freedom Boat Club. So but no, we're not blaming the cancer at this point. Let's see. Trailer Park Sark says, "Forget football. If you guys don't do an I'm on a boat parody video, then this will all have been for nothing." So, I mean, we may have to. Someone's gonna have to be T-Pain.
Is which is y'all's favorite boat related song? Is it "I'm on a Boat" or is it "Boats and Hoes"?
"I'm on a Boat" is mine. Just gonna be honest.
Big Lonely Island.
I might
guy?
go the other way.
I like "Boats and Hoes." Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. Let's see. Also, Austin from work says, "Saw a guy on the subway with a hog hat on. We woo pig together." Man, that's going to cost you. His main concern was a secondary. It's a nationwide concern.
Me and Curtis saw a homeless guy with a pretty solid hat on.
Yeah, like
It's
a hat that I
solid.
have that I wear regularly.
Oh man, yeah. Well, if it's a nationwide problem, then it's more than just a concern from us here on Inside Arkansas. It's like I think anybody who watches these press conferences that we post on Inside Arkansas, don't take it from us if you don't believe us. Just listen to them.
Yeah,
like listen, because all the things that we are talking about comes from them, comes from the coaches.
Yeah, they've outright acknowledged giving up the huge explosive plays over and over and over again on Saturday was an issue that they have to correct.
Yeah, and it was communication. But you know how you handle and get better at communication?
Communicate better. That's what you got to do.
That's what you got to do. That's the name of the game. Let's see. Hog Blitz says, "Hey, John, if the offense is potent, as we hope after Petrino interview, you can still win a lot of games, even with a subpar defense," which is true.
Yeah.
It is true. However, it's not the most sustainable thing that you want to put yourself in a position of. I would never feel comfortable getting in shootouts this year, every single game. And I'm talking about everybody, because listen, you had, statistically speaking, a really good offense in 2022, statistically speaking, but you had the worst statistical defense that you could ever have, and you went 6-6. So it's like you got into shootouts with some teams, but you still different and all of that. But I hate being in a position to where that's what you go into every game, just be like, "Oh, geez, well, just hopefully Bobby's got some stuff dialed up, because that's going to be the only saving grace for this team." I hate that mentality. I get it, but I hate that mentality going into games. It sucks.
Shootouts are fun to watch. Like, they're entertaining, but very
Arkansas's two biggest wins last year. The Tennessee game, defense straight up won that game for them.
Yeah.
The Auburn game, 6 turnovers. Defense completely dominated that game, won that game for them. And so you do kind of need both. You know what I mean? As great as Arkansas as offense was at moving the ball, they needed their defense to win some big ball games for them. And of course, their offense, had their moments as well. The A&M game they almost won was going to be because of that defense. And so I'm with you, but it's like against these high-level offenses and against the talent you're going to face on defense in the SEC, being able to consistently string together 6-7 scoring drives a week is not really a sustainable way to do it unless you just got a really next level offense, which, hey, maybe they do have. If Saturday's any indication, maybe they do.
Should be all right. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, really appreciate everybody hopping in with us. It's great. I was, again, concerned about the weather a little bit, but it's actually pretty nice. I mean, it's warm, but
I got
it's,
hot for a minute.
If you sit too still, you'll start sweating a little bit, but it's like, you just got to kind of move around.
Yeah. Shout out to my buddy Brendan, though, for lending the tailgate tent, because it reeks of barbecue, but it's not the worst smell in the world. But because we'd be out in the sun, so we appreciate
it'd be pretty
shade.
Tough in the sun. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It would be.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't have the skin to have a good, to get tan and
I did bring
sunburn
some
and all that.
I brought the SPF too, just in case. Not wearing it because I'm an adult,
Yeah, same.
I was hoping
I never wear it. I just bring it.
I was hoping one of you would come out here with all the white thing on your nose. What is it?
Thought about it.
Yeah, just the overall just lotion on your nose coming out here, looking like you're a lifeguard or some sort. But also, our guy Ron says, I don't know if it's the setting, but y'all seem more relaxed in your commentary and general demeanor. Well, it's probably the setting, because
I feel pretty relaxed.
It's pretty relaxing out here. But also, let's be honest, anytime we're actually all together, it's so much nicer when, instead of talking to each other in each other's homes, it's no, we get to just, there's no delays, there's no talking over each other, or there's not this way of okay, now you go here and then you talk here. It's just commentary. It's all we're doing.
I saw somebody in the chat yesterday that just said it's basically felt like it was kind of funny, because when one of us is talking, a lot of times, the other two we're looking at the chat, which chats do we want to pull up, or have we missed, is there anything going on that we need to talk about or whatever? And it's almost like we're not listening to each other. We're just very good multitaskers. But today, for example, I've got my laptop open. I don't have I'm not connected to the it's just open, man. Yeah, and so it's just full free dialogue right here. I can't even really actually see the screen and how we look, and I can't see the chats either. Love you guys. It's kind of just kind of sitting here just talking.
Yeah, it is actually nice. There was a point where I almost reached over John's shoulder and was like, and I'm started arguing. I was like, let me not do that. That'd be weird.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of like when you go camping. As weird as this is, it's we get out there in the elements, put away the phones, even though we still have a whole lot of technology here.
We are as unplugged as plugged in people can be right now.
Yes, exactly right. Exactly right. Let's see. Bass in the Ozark says, hey, Inside Arkansas, now that you're doing Freedom Boat Club as a sponsor, when are y'all going to go fish with the Razorback Bass fishing team? We tried to set it up, honestly, but it was just timing, and with baseball season and everything, it got tough. But we are going to do that at some point.
No, we definitely are. We had a tentative date, but I can't remember what. I couldn't do it.
Yes, that's right.
I was out of town. Something. It might have been our gender reveal or something, but I wasn't going to be here, and then you guys didn't want to do it without me, which is nice.
Here's what y'all need to do, listeners. Go to all the Razorback Baseball YouTube, because they all stream fishing stuff now. Yeah. Kojal, Souza, Reese Robinette, they're doing their fishing content. Get them to hook up with us. It'd be weird for us to be like, hey guys, let us come on your show. But if y'all go and say, hey man, y'all should really invite the Inside Arkansas boys. That guy Andrew's really handsome. He'd look good on the boat, man. Bring him out there. Maybe they would be inclined to invite us on a fishing trip, and we could get in on the competition.
That'd be nice. I think it would be cool people to go fishing with. I think,
Yeah, I'm not very good at fishing.
I wouldn't know what to do.
I love fishing.
I enjoy it.
I don't know that I'm good at it, but I love it. I haven't been in a long time. I used to go all the time.
I went deep sea fishing in Gulf Shores one time, and apparently a redfish is hard to catch.
Okay.
I had one on the line.
Okay.
Like massive, and I ended up losing it. And everyone on the boat was like, "You idiot! I can't believe you missed a redfish." And I was like, "Oh, dang, my bad, dude.
Sorry.
My bad."
Yeah. Yep. Again, we'll make it happen. We'll have some great content from it and everything too. So, also, Trey says, "Need an Inside Arkansas tent so we know where to find you guys pre-gaming this fall before games." Yeah, I'll be in the works.
It's going to look like this one, right? Or no? Is it
probably?
Is there going to be stuff on there?
I have no idea. That's Brendan's decision. He always gets these cockamamie schemes to put up there. He's just like, we'll maybe put a QR code on the side for Venmo. It's like, that'll go up.
Will we have an Inside Arkansas flag?
Yeah.
Okay, so just look for that.
Yeah, but there's 6 flags, because you got to go through the American flag, this State Arkansas flag, the Razorback flag, the SEC flag, the Busch Light flag. I mean, there's just a lot of flags.
SEC flag. What do we need an SEC flag for?
We put it upside down.
It means more.
It does just mean more.
Yeah, put it upside down because
only SEC play, or Alabama A&M, you put up the SEC flag.
Probably just because we rotate, but yeah, as long as with American flags got number one and state of Arkansas.
You got to flex the SEC flag against Notre Dame.
That's true.
Yeah, for sure.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, if Arkansas gets a 3-0 lead in that game, we're chanting.
Start the chant.
You think at Notre Dame they chant independent, independent?
They should if they don't.
Yeah, exactly. With all the money that they make on it,
Touchdown, Jesus! Touchdown, Jesus!
I think that's actually how their fight song goes too. So, I want to remind everybody that we're here at Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas, but we're also presented by our friends over at Hickey and Hull Law. We know that divorce and custody cases are extremely important, but we also know that criminal cases, civil litigation cases, personal injury cases, all of those are just as important as well. But luckily for you, Hickey and Hull Law does it all, and they are right here in the state of Arkansas. So anytime you need people to help represent you, as well as have that strong attorney-client relationship that's built on honesty and trust, that's what Hickey and Hull is all about, because they understand that's crucial to all of their clients, that they keep them updated on their cases and that they're available to provide advice and counsel throughout the process. And they will take time to meet with all the clients and respond to those emails and those calls. So give them a call today at 479-434-2414. That's 479-434-2414. You can also check out the website at hickeyandhull.com. Things are about to get better with Hickey and Hull Law.
John, we were driving through MARINA earlier today and thought about pulling up, just walking in, saying hi, showing a little bit of love. I just didn't want Michelle to get the wrong idea.
Yeah,
so
that would have been
had a
tough
great
luck.
meeting with Hickey and Hull.
Yeah, but there's like take a picture in front of it, shake the hand of whoever was in there. I was like, maybe
every time you read it, I want to get a divorce. Like, it just kind of like gives me that.
I want to
itch.
get married
And
just so I
they
can get a
wanna hear.
divorce.
Yeah,
just to get it going. That would have been.
Listening to John do the read, and they're just like, I never loved this woman.
Yeah. It's like, I never thought that divorce was possible until now. And now I'm going to make it happen. Yeah. Let's hope that's not. I'm sure all of you are very happily married with your significant others and everything too. So, hey.
But if you're not.
Then call Hickey and Hull
that
Law.
number is ingrained in your head now.
That's right. That's right. By the way, the wind's picking up a little bit. So
nice.
I'm just saying, if this tent starts to move, Curtis, since you're the tallest one, you may have to put up your ups, man, and grab it down and lock it down in there. So just saying.
You.
Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah, I think so. But
I was born for this.
Yeah, this is your moment.
Yeah.
Don't let because once the tent goes over here, you don't want it to hit the nice Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas boat over here.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if it just started storming?
Oh yeah, that'd just be a hoot.
That'd be fun.
That'd be a hoot.
Hey, what
with all
happened
this
right
equipment.
at noon?
Oh, I bet it's one of those.
Oh, it's a tornado siren testing. Yeah,
that was awesome.
Oh, they were doing just the testing. I thought it was one of those things where it's like, how like those clocks that'll just at noon or at 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
Just ding. I thought it was just one of those.
Yeah, no, it was because I think it's at least in certain places they do it at noon on Wednesdays every week to do like a tornado
Just to
testing.
make sure that if there's a tornado,
that they're good to go. Let's see a few other chats here too. Let's see. Austin says, was looking at Big Red's rooftop bar. Any of y'all spend any time up there? It looks like a cool hangout. I mean, I have. It's just
what is that?
It's the thing at Razorback Stadium. Right? Yeah, it's like at the top of the north end zone.
Yeah, where they have the what do they call it on Fridays? They do.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Anyway,
yes,
I know
that event thing. So yeah, I mean, it's a cool setup. From watching the game, if you're trying to watch the game, it may not be the easiest setup, but they do have tickets and you got TVs and everything too. So could be. There's definitely worse places to watch the game. It'd still be in the atmosphere at least. And then also Trey says, you guys going to do a pregame show on game day this year? Pregame show at the pregame. It just kind of depends on the situation and the time of the game. And if it calls for it.
Not a lot of late games. I mean, there's a lot of 11 a.m.s. It's hard to do an 8 a.m. pregame show.
Yeah, like I enjoyed the pregame baseball, like during postseason. Yeah. Those were fun. Pregame basketball, it wouldn't make sense to do on the weekdays because we got Inside Arkansas Live, and a couple hours later you have the game. Maybe on Saturdays. Football Saturdays?
Man, we should start doing for like basketball Saturdays where there's a big night game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think like that would be, we could do some pregame stuff for there. But yeah, football, we'll see. I mean, it's TBD.
Here's the thing. Here's what we're not going to do for football. I'm putting my foot down here. We're not going to do an hour-long pregame show, a 4-hour watch party, and then a post-game show right after that.
Yeah.
So for the, maybe if it's like a pregame for home games or whatever, when we're not doing watch parties, we'll figure something out.
Maybe.
Yeah. Listen, we're going to be doing all types of cool stuff.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to stay locked in and be a part of it. And again, it's those post games are going to go off the chains and off the rails if they ever end up winning some big game or if they end up losing a really bad game. It's going to be that's kind of the fun part about it is the emotions.
You think it'll just be a chalk season? Just every game they're supposed to win, they win. Every game they're supposed to lose, they lose.
I hope not. Give us one. Give us one of either one or both. How about that? Just give us one game you're supposed to win, one game you're that you lose and one game that you're supposed to lose that you win, and I'm good.
Can we just get to the bye without any nonsense? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
I really don't feel like being on a post game and getting chirped by Arkansas State or Memphis fans.
Yeah.
You know, like the Ole Miss. Nobody wants to go down there and beat them more than I do. But if you don't, okay, not the end of the world. Like Notre Dame, they're gonna be top 5, whatever. At least let that be chalky or in Arkansas's favor. No funny business, man. In those early games, I can't stand that.
Yeah, I know.
It's a big time. What do you want to call? Like just getting. It's almost like getting chirped by your little bro.
Yeah.
If you struggle with Arkansas State, don't do it. Just beat the hell out of them. Let's just
Nobody loves September shenanigans more than the Arkansas Razorbacks, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just get us to mid-October, and I'll be fine. I guess the bye week is October 4th, right? I think it's the first Saturday.
It needs to be a red October. We need one of those.
Not an
Arkansas could have red October. South Carolina has Cocktober. Yeah. What we have in Fayetteville can't rival that because that's crazy, right?
Yeah,
but let's have a little red October action. Yeah. Win some games.
No O for October. That's what you got to avoid. No O for October's there. So, but again, folks, we're live here from the Hot Springs Marina for Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas here in Hot Springs on Lake Hamilton. Be sure to give a text to 501-270-6477. Just text Inside Arkansas to get more information about joining the Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas. Which, listen, they make it easy on all of you, where if you don't want to have to deal with all of the ownership of a boat, where you have to do with the maintenance and having to have a slip and everything like that, don't worry about it because they provide it all for you. All you do is you literally pull up right over here. You get off, you get all your stuff, your cooler and everything. You walk down to the marina behind us. You put your stuff on the boat and you go. And then you just come back. That's as simple as that. So that's why it's always great to be dealing with Freedom Boat Club. We appreciate their partnership, and that's why it's a great deal. And not only here in the state of Arkansas, because they have it at Lake Hamilton, Greers Ferry, new locations going to be announced here soon, but also across the country. So be sure to check it out.
I've heard from Cape Cod to California. That's what I heard.
Yep,
that's right.
Cape Cod to California. Yeah, and somebody I feel like was in our chat. Maybe they tweeted at me, but they said that they were in Florida and they've used Freedom Boat Club over there in Florida. So yeah, they have a few of those things too. So. We'll have our heavy hitters here in just a little bit as well. But this, I guess, Arkansas just want to say it's going to go Hogtober.
Hogtober works. I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hogtober. Yeah. And then also, Heartbroken Hog says the post game after we beat Ole Miss is going to hit like crack. Oh man,
that'd be fun,
dude. If they're 3-0, if they beat Ole Miss on the road and they're 3-0, man, I'm going to start believing in some stuff I don't want to. I'm going to start believing in some stuff. I'm going to start saying, you know what, we're going to have that thing like, guys, the playoff.
Oh yeah.
Would that Memphis game become like the trap of all trappiest traps?
Yes.
They beat Ole Miss
1,000%. And then
Memphis, who's receiving votes in the AP poll, receiving more votes in the coaches poll.
I've heard that Memphis might not be with it this year. I've heard murmurs that they might not be as strong as they've been.
You've heard it from Razorback fans.
I can't remember who told me. I'm literally trying to think of it.
Aren't they replacing that quarterback that was there forever?
Yeah, Hannigan or whatever.
Yeah, I think they've got a lot of turnover.
Yeah.
It might be down.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if they end up trying to be 4-0 going into that Notre Dame game or something like that, yeah, it's just that's what I want, though. I want to have that fun and belief and us doing like the week leading up to that show, against Notre Dame. Is it college game day going to come here? It's going to be all those things thrown around.
I almost want like something to happen, a catastrophic event to happen to where Arkansas just finishes the year 4-0. It's like, let's just close up shop right
now.
World
War III begins.
Nothing,
it's like, all right.
Nothing to see here. But seriously, where would they be ranked? If they're 4-0, I'd have to look at like where everyone else.
So Alabama A&M, Arkansas
15?
State, Ole Miss on the road, Memphis on the road. Yeah, they'd be top 20 for sure.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. I think so because you also got to think there's a lot of teams in front of them that have like a lot more difficult games in front of
Notre
them.
Dame even. Notre Dame might have a couple. Arkansas might be favored. No, they're not going to be favored. But they might be the higher ranked team against
Notre Dame could be like 2-2 coming to that game.
Just saying.
Legitimately.
Yep. It'll be the most lit 11 a.m. game in Razorback Stadium history.
Can it be more lit than that Georgia game in 2021? That was the most lit atmosphere I've ever seen at 11 a.m.
No, it won't be that lit. But it'll be, again, it's like, I was trying to think of when was the last time that there's just been an insane 11 a.m. atmosphere, which is, I know it's never going to be as tough or as great as a night game, but at Razorback Stadium, like, what was the most insane? Was that Auburn game in 2015, that quadruple overtime game? Was that an 11 a.m. game?
It was either
I think
11
it was 11
a.m. or
a.m.
afternoon.
Mid-afternoon.
Yeah, I think it was 11 a.m. I know that game was pretty intense, but it wasn't Notre Dame. So, yeah, that's the thing. Let's see. Also, WooMF Pig just says, do you guys get more views after a big win or a crushing defeat?
So it varies a little bit.
It does.
Because, obviously, like if you look at our most watched post games of the last year, we've been doing it for a year now. The NCAA tournament wins were the big ones, but I will say LSU baseball loss was the most viewed bombastic post game. I think it was like top 5. LSU basketball loss was a really big one.
The Mizzou basketball loss was third.
Basketball.
It
But,
was St. John's win, Kentucky win, Missouri loss for the top 3 pot at the Palace Post games.
The real answer, though, Woo MF Pig, is whatever is the most surprising result. Like if Arkansas lost to Arkansas State, that would be a very heavily viewed post game. If they beat,
Texas on the road, or
that would be like Tennessee last year was our biggest one because that was the most surprising result. I don't even remember our highest loss, probably Oklahoma State.
Yeah, which was a whole nother thing.
Yeah,
that something that we didn't get to experience live, but definitely felt like it was at the moment.
We just need chaos. That's all we need.
It's just whatever people want to react to. Yeah.
Yes. Upset the established order. Insert a little anarchy, and everything becomes chaos.
Whoa.
You guys know what movie that is?
Nope.
Is that would that be The Dark Knight?
That is. We all watched it together. Yeah. I was saying, hey, this Joker's putting it to Two-Face. He's like, upset the established order.
It's like right after he gives the dog chasing cars.
Yes.
Bit, too.
Yeah.
Love that.
So so that's where we're at, talking about that with Razorback football and sports. So
we're big sports guys over here.
I have a big time too. So okay, so again, we're live here from Freedom Boat Club here in Hot Springs at Lake Hamilton. But let's go ahead and jump into our heavy hitters that are presented by HD Roofing and Construction. That we know that storms can hit so unexpectedly these days, especially here in the state of Arkansas. Hopefully we're going to avoid it today. I think we are. It's just, a little cloudy, but it's no big deal. But either way, we know that in the state of Arkansas, you never know what to expect when it comes to these storms. And you also know that your roof better be protected, because I don't know if any of you knew this, but if you don't have a roof during a storm, or at least a roof that's able to protect you during a storm, that's bad. That's going to be bad for you. So don't let that happen. Get HD Roofing to give you that free inspection and give you that peace of mind, because when you choose them, they have professionalism, top quality materials, and expert installation for all of your roofing needs. You can call them today at 501-428-0429. That's 501-428-0429, or you can check them out online at hdarkansas.com.
John, while Curtis does his heavy hitter, because I'm sure his is going to be great, I need you to do me a favor, and I need you to pull up a photo. Just type in Brock Bowers on Twitter.
I know.
And pull up the photo. That's just all I need. That's all I need while Curtis is doing his heavy hitter, which I'm sure is going to be tremendous.
Yes. I think I know what you're.
Did I cue you up too early?
No, I have 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Knock them out.
1, the Razorback band. Did you guys see, like, the coaches are all making the rounds to the band today? Kelsey Music was out there. Sam Pittman just out, shouting out the band. Hey, thanks for what you guys do.
Always love that.
So, yeah, thanks for what you guys do. I think that's very, very cool. And then also Adidas.
Okay.
Did you guys see that they have sniped Tennessee back?
Are you
Really?
serious?
Because Tennessee was Adidas for the longest.
Yeah.
And then they've been Nike for like a decade here. And, that broke right before the show started, that they've signed a long-term agreement with Adidas. They're rolling it back.
That's insane.
That is.
That is interesting. Also, is Kansas an Adidas school?
Kansas is an Adidas school.
Mhm.
And shout out to, that's not Adidas that gave the donation, but it's a big news day for Adidas universities, because Kansas, did you see the bag Kansas got? $300 million somebody gave to Kansas Kansas's athletic department.
Crazy work.
That Jayhawk cash, man. That's
I'm
good
saying,
stuff.
dude.
Yep. I don't know. I hope Arkansas doesn't go back to Adidas
No,
or
we
anything
can't
like
do
that.
that. We've made fun of Adidas uniforms too much on this program.
Cal, I don't know when their contract's up. I think it's like 10-year deals they always sign. But if their contract's up in the next couple of years or something, Cal better step in. That would be the only other thing I'd change for Nike, right? Would you guys be on board? Would you rather have Team Jordan, or would you have a Nike? Or does it matter?
I'm cool with Jordan just because
Jordan brand would be pretty sick.
Yeah, it'd be pretty sick.
Getting that exclusive club. I
Also,
have
the
more
football
heavy hitters.
uniforms.
When you guys are done with your heavy hitters, I've got more.
Well, I want to react to your first one, the band one, because I love that as One of my favorite Sam Pittman videos was when he was talking to the band. I guess it was a few years ago, and he was telling them, he's like, "Yeah, I used to play the tuba." He said, "I was second chair, but there was only 2 chairs."
Golly. Okay, so Ellis, I do have yours pulled up whenever you are ready to.
Okay, well, my heavy hitter is Josh Pate, because Josh Pate is on track to be one of the top tight ends in the NFL this year.
Yes.
If you can pull up the evidence, John. Shout out to Josh Pate, man. Pate State
Friend
University.
of the show, Josh Pate.
Yeah, friend of the show. Yeah, friend of the show.
I saw he quote tweeted this picture because for those, this is Brock Bowers, former Georgia tight end for the Vegas Raiders, playing under Pete Carroll. Which did y'all see the video of Pete Carroll tackling somebody?
Yes.
It was a good video.
That was good.
But shout out to Brock Bowers. So Brock Bowers is the ripe age of 22 years old, and he has made the business decision to go ahead and just give up on the hairline and shave it. I respect Brock Bowers for doing that, because so many people hang on until the very last moment. And, I appreciate that he was just like, listen, I'm young. I probably should have hair, but I don't have hair. Let me just go ahead and just cut out the middle, man. Let me just buzz it all off. I think Brock Bowers is going to be the top fantasy tight end in football this year. In case you guys want some fantasy football scoops, Brock Bowers, TE1.
Okay.
And shout out
Dude.
Pate State, because he looks exactly like Josh Pate.
The Josh Pate resemblance is crazy. It's also crazy that this is an NFL tight end and Josh Pate is more jacked than he is.
Literally, dude. Yeah, it is crazy.
It's nuts, bro.
Yeah.
Also, Curtis and I were talking about this on the way. Luke has a similar situation going on with the hair, to Brock Bowers.
I'll let it go.
Is that just a young, talented tight end trait?
Look. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, is it a good sign for Luke Haz's development that he's got a receding hairline?
It might be. But I've also felt like, to quote Seinfeld, don't let anybody get offended because it's a Seinfeld quote, but it's like when George Costanza was talking about a guy who has hair, but he shaves it to be bald on purpose. He's like, it's like using a wheelchair just for the fun of it. It's like, you got hair, man. It's like, you should want to have your hair and to grow it out. But it's like, I guess but certain people can pull off the bald look a little bit better. Certain people can.
I think so. And I also think I don't think it's one of those things where any hair is good hair. You know what I mean? I think there's people that have bad hair, and especially when it's like your hairline gets back there and it's just a few little strangles. I think sometimes Michael Jordan, I feel like one of the more prominent ones that just was like early in his life was just like, I'm a baldy. Let's embrace it.
Yep. I'm for that. My heavy hitter at least is, something that I was actually experiencing coming down here to Hot Springs, because I went to Little Rock last night and stayed there, ate dinner with some friends and everything, and then I came down here to Hot Springs, not late last night, but fairly late. And I will say that it was, I don't know what street it was on. I really don't. I wish I could tell you. But have you guys ever seen when cattle gets out of like a trailer?
Yeah.
And like it's trying to escape? I was driving down, and it was there's these, lights and cops and everything like that. And I was trying to, of course, driving down the road, seeing it. They had an entire squad of not just some cops, but some regular people. People jumped off the road and were going over there to help rattle the cattle, try to get them back onto the trailer. And I was like, that's pretty cool, because it looked like people like us just going out there. Of course, I didn't stop. They
had those little shock things.
No, it was like they were really like grabbing arms
Very
and just
humane.
like jump. It was like playing Red Rover out there.
It's a very
like,
Arkansas thing to have.
Oh man, if I wasn't driving, and I would have taken a picture of it, but I was just sitting there. I'm like, you know what? That's anytime you get down in life and you think everybody doesn't like each other, and people are mean and rude and all that. And he's like, you see the humanity in people when they're just like out there, like, these aren't my cows, but I'm going to help these people get these cows back onto the trailer. And I just want to give them a shout out. If you're listening, or if you're on the show, that was really nice of you, and that was really cool of you to do. People just pulling over. It was even like I could tell like it was like an Infinity vehicle, like a white SUV that was driven by a female, and she was out there trying to help too. So I was like, that's really just cool. So that was my shout out. Never my heavy hitters of out there just trying to help rattle the cattle.
I like that.
Yeah.
So that's very, very good. Very good on the people of the natural state.
The good
right
people.
there.
Yeah.
You know what I like? I like when they do the rope and they get that calf.
Yep.
They get his little legs stuck in there, and they.
Yeah. Oh, I like that too. So you got another one, Curtis?
Shout out to Razorback Soccer. Picked to win the SEC.
Dude, soccer
Were they really?
starts in like July, bro. It's crazy. They're going to be halfway done with the season by the time school starts.
They were playing. They had an exhibition or something out there on the field the other day.
Razorback Soccer, man, they've been cooking here for 4 or 5 years now. Would love to see them really go on a deep run. They've had some great years. Did they get to the SEC title game last year?
Yes. Or no. That was like, because remember.
the first time they didn't.
It was like a couple years ago. They lost it like 3 straight years, something like that, right?
Oh, no. 7.
7?
The seven different teams.
7 different teams.
Razorback soccer went to the SEC championship game 7 straight years and lost every single time.
To 7 different teams.
God, I thought it was like 2 or 3.
No. That was the
Good
stat that I
God.
kept throwing around. I'm like, it's almost absurd how that happens. You make it to the SEC tournament and you lose to a different team.
That's
every
all
time.
I want is, we always talk about, does the conference tournament matter? Yeah, yada, yada, yada. That's all I care about this year. I don't even care about the actual postseason. They got to win that SEC tourney.
Yep, just they got to get it off their chest. And it was kind of like with Dave Van Horn in the SEC tournament. He didn't win it forever.
He just had to do that one. Yeah. He had to use Kevin Kopp 7 times to do it. It's fine.
Yeah, and they beat Tennessee to do it per usual because they always beat Tennessee. It's kind of stupid how many times they have beaten Tennessee, but I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. But see, again, we appreciate everybody listening, and we're going to hear from our guy. Aaron Quattlebaum of Freedom Boat Club here in just a little bit. He's going to tell us more about it. He's also a Razorback fan too, so we're going to be checking it out. But Jacob just says, I know you guys can see the clouds around you, but there are some really heavy rain showers just in the north of Lake Hamilton popping in minutes, so just stay safe and dry.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, man.
Here we go.
Yeah, we need the...
If we wrap up early today...
You'll know why.
It feels so good right
feels
now.
Great.
Like,
does,
there's nothing
nice.
better than that pre-rain wind. That's where we're at right now. We're in the sweet spot.
Yep, absolutely. And also, Finch just says, I swear the Inside Arkansas fellows are on a roll with the women folk today. Curtis with the big-bellied women. Now John with the even a woman was helping.
Yeah.
LOL.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It's like if anybody takes offense to that type of thing, it's just, something for it's a dangerous thing to be out there with cows. Just saying.
You cross the line when Finch is like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Man, that guy's saying stuff out of pocket.
And for those who don't understand the context, I was not fat shaming women. I was talking about all the pregnant bellies I was around last night.
Yes. Yeah.
Big old round bellies. And then I got back home and I was like, why am I so I'm itching to talk basketball? It's because there's 15 basketball sized tummies right there in front of me last night. So
also, Red J says, with respect to NIL, Sam Pittman seems to me like the sweet old lady down the road who says she'll pay you really good to pull the weeds in her garden. And it turns out that's 3/4 is big money.
Damn.
That's a specific reference right there.
Very specific. Very specific.
I don't know. I don't know if I can buy that because, well, actually I can, because the kids who get offered that always take it, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody's ever said no to that. But your grass might not get cut effectively.
Yeah.
If you do that. So maybe it actually is a perfect reference.
Yep. Also, they say, I guess you were talking about the band. Lucius says that they need to ask the band to stop playing Hey Jude. Do you guys have an opinion on this?
Maybe they did.
Wait, why would they? What's wrong with Hey Jude?
People hate when they play Hey Jude.
Maybe Kelsey Music was like, hey guys, just cut that out. Cut that out at Bud.
John, let me guess. You hate Hey Jude, don't you?
I actually don't care one way or the other, but it's
for sure, bro.
See, the thing is, I should hate it, but I don't. I just don't really care as much.
Anything that is done with regularity inside a Razorback sporting event, John hates it, bro.
Yeah, I'm not going to hate. I'm going to get Aaron's microphone so y'all talk for a second.
Okay. We're filibustering. We're talking. We're laughing. We're having a good time.
Now, I've already complimented the band once today, so I feel like I can do what's Hey Jude?
The Beatles?
What is that?
You don't know?
Is that like a
Hey
regular
Jude?
band song?
Hey Jude. What says it? Don't something. Don't make it bad. Is that what it says?
Yeah, but like you're singing the song, but the band plays it. It's I don't recognize.
What is it, John? You need to explain this because there's some song that they play and it transitions into Hey Jude.
Yeah, it's it's a transition of the before. It's the I think it's the William Tell Overture. Or no,
Okay.
It's a da 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 da.
And then at
it
the
goes
end it goes into
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
I
bad
love
deal.
the Hey Jude. Now that I really think about it, like, what do people not like
I'm
about
kind
it?
of offended that someone's offended by that.
Yeah,
I
actually.
know.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Welcome to the world where people are offended by dumb things like me, but that's okay.
You know, it's tough when even John's like, man, I'm not even offended by this.
Yeah, I don't think it's as big of a deal. Now, there is other things I could sit here and complain about, but I'll tell you this: we're not going to be complaining about where we're at today. Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas at the Hot Springs Marina. We got Aaron Quattlebaum, right? Did I say that right?
You did.
Okay, we got Aaron Quattlebaum joining us at Freedom Boat Club. And Aaron, first off, it's good to meet you in person. Appreciate you having us out, man. And it's a great day for this.
Yeah, first off, thanks for driving down. I know with the family and checking on the baby, I was listening to the podcast this morning.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
a lot going on. And
well
the
worth
weather's
the
held
trip.
off. There's not been any too bad rain. I heard you're going to grab the tent if the wind picks up, right?
That's the rumor. Yeah, they leave it to the tall guy to get electrocuted. It's
Yeah. It's about time his height has come in handy for something instead of just being Andrew getting shamed for being like short people.
We don't have any like tall items for him to grab. We need to implement more ways for Curtis to be useful.
That's right. Yeah, we got to put him to use somehow.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. No, and thanks to Hot Springs Marina for letting us come out here today. I mean, it's a fantastic day. They've been fantastic partners for us and helping us get set up this morning. So really appreciate them letting us have a good day out here on the water.
Yeah. So tell us about Freedom Boat Club Arkansas, because we tell everybody about it and have many times. In fact, we probably have the script memorized at this point in time and telling all the great features about it. But people they're probably tired of us hearing it, but you live it. I mean, this is your thing. So what makes Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas the way to do it instead of just going out and trying to buy a boat?
Yeah, it's interesting. I actually joined a boat club in Tennessee, and it was really, we were trying to figure out, my wife and I, she's the boss of the house, right? And she was, we were trying to figure out like what's the best economic decision, knowing that boats come with a lot of overhead. And with the Freedom Boat Club, the benefit and the reason we joined was because it made it easy. We walked on, we walked off. The boat was clean when we got there. It was cleaned after we left. Fueling is easy. You don't have to worry about bringing all that. It's all there. So you show up with your cooler, make sure you grab some ice from the marina, and then and you're ready to go. It makes it easy. You don't have to worry about winterizing. And maybe today you're taking out the family and you want to try to. Maybe tomorrow you're going to take out some buddies and you want to go wakeboarding. You have that opportunity, right? You have that flexibility to the different vessel types that are out there. And then the great thing about Arkansas, this is a new concept. This is something that, it's not when people ask us, they're like, "Oh, I've never heard of Freedom Boat Club." We have 3 locations here, but there's over 430 globally. So if you want to go to Vancouver, if you want to go to Australia, you want to go to Europe, there are plenty of options that as you go look at these vacation destinations, it gives you the ability to have that as part of your vacation planning. If you're going to the beach, if you're going to go out there and have a good time, you have the ability as a Freedom Boat Club member to take out a boat down in Destin, right? Or if you're going to go up to Branson, you have some opportunity there. So it creates a lot of flexibility without some of the challenges and commitments that come with boat ownership, and let us take the hassle out of it. It's we'll do the work for you. We have a fantastic staff that's here to help you along the way and answer any questions that come up. But what we see is a lot of boat owners, once they understand the concept, they're like, man, this makes so much sense. This is easy. So we're super excited. We launched 2 new locations this year, which was fantastic. We're hoping to announce 2 new locations for next year. And the goal is to keep growing. We want everybody in Arkansas to be very close to our Freedom Boat Club location. So whether you're in Fayetteville for a football, basketball, baseball game, or if you're going out on Greers Ferry because it's a holiday weekend, or even if you're down here at Lake Hamilton, you can take that boat out and really enjoy it across the entire natural state.
Yeah, so you're also a Razorback fan too.
I am a Razorback fan.
I don't know if you know that you have your shirt on. So how are you feeling about this season? Because apparently we like to hate and then we like to over promote and everything. But you're a football guy. You went to the U of A.
I did.
So you're a Razorback fan. How are you feeling about it?
I'm cautiously optimistic. So I was there when Bobby was obviously the head coach. So I got to see a lot of the glory years. I love seeing the Kobe Hamilton pass right before halftime. So I look forward to seeing Taylor Green in season 2. I know we're hearing a lot about Mike Washington and several of the others. Obviously, Braylon Russell, I love to see Arkansas guys succeed in Arkansas uniforms. So I'm cautiously optimistic. The schedule is not doing us any favors, right? But, hey, that's football. That's the SEC. You got to be ready to go any given Saturday. So I'm really excited. I'm really eager to see the basketball team this year. Luckily I've got to go to a few games last year when they were in Nashville, and this year we're hoping to come up to a couple in Fayetteville.
There we go.
I'm going to make the road trip over to Knoxville. I am going to go see them beat Tennessee and Neyland. So, I see all the posts of folks that are saying, if we win 8 games, we're going to X or Y or Z. I'm excited. I'd love for that to be the case. I'd love to not go back to Liberty Bowl again. So
heard that,
man. Liberty Bowl, going there 3 times in a single year is that's something that nobody wants to do unless you have warrants.
Are you going to go to that game in the?
I am. I think we're going to go over the. Yeah, it's close, right?
Yeah.
It makes it very easy. So we need to be able to cheer them on. We cannot go to Liberty and lose to Memphis.
That absolutely cannot happen.
No. In fact, I guess it's like the triangle almost of like Little Rock for that game, then to Oxford, then to Memphis, and then back up to Fayetteville. So I know a lot of people in the area are going to be doing that. But yeah, listen, it's like I think most Razorback fans are in the same way. They're hopeful. They're wanting it to be well. And it's just so much more fun when they're relevant and all of that.
Yep.
But just given the weirdness of the schedule and given the circumstances of where it's at, like you mentioned basketball, you mentioned like even baseball. So it feels like the excitement level is just a little bit higher for that.
Yep.
But hey, if football can carry us into basketball, a little segue in there, I'd take that. I'd be okay with that.
And when football's rolling, it's unmatched. So it just takes a couple wins to get this thing going a little bit crazy. We've been talking about it today. Take care of business in your first two. You go down there and win in Oxford, people are going to be talking reckless.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
going to be crazy with the optimism. Sign me up for that.
And I'll tell you, it's interesting because there was times when I was growing up, right? I watched Miracle on Markham. There's some fantastic memories, but I feel like Razorback sports right now. Yes, we have some questions on football, right? But love to see success with basketball. Obviously, we had continued success with baseball, but softball, women's softball, right?
Yeah.
And we've got a new head coach on the women's basketball side. So I'm excited to see us take this next step because I believe in all sports we're seeing a different University of Arkansas than maybe we did when I was there, a little over 10
We were just
years
talking
ago.
about soccer, man. Soccer,
Oh, yeah.
gearing up for another big year, man. It's it is really impressive. Just, I mean, because like obviously football is the moneymaker. It's the one that there's 80% of the fan base is only paying attention to football, but it's like there's something to be said about having your entire athletic department competing on a national level. Now, obviously, we'll see what that looks like with football, but I think that's something cool that we have, kind of a feather in our cap a little bit.
Yeah. We were also talking about because you were at school for like the 2010 Alabama game in football that gets brought up a lot, and even somebody in the chat said Eddie Money at the Liberty Bowl in 2010.
That was electric.
Yeah.
2 tickets to paradise.
Yeah, it's like that's back when they used to even have concerts, I think, for every Liberty Bowl, and then I think it just got to the point where it's too expensive.
Did they not do one last year? Because they had Starship a couple years ago.
No, they wouldn't do one last year or the year before because Arkansas played in the Liberty Bowl, 2 out of 3 years. So yeah.
And shout out to your chat. I saw parody for "I'm on a Boat" was suggested.
Yeah.
Recommended.
Man.
Yep.
So maybe we can make some content with some of the boats. I'm excited. I thought the chat was absolutely on point today. So,
Yeah.
yes, they are on point. In fact, one of them just said because I guess they don't. They didn't want to just call you out by name, but the student section just says, "Hey, tell that guy to get the boat club on Beaver Lake." So, so there you go. Get the boat on.
All right, guy.
Stat. Yeah, ASAP. Make it happen right now. So, but that's a great thing is that Arkansas's got plenty of lakes, and it's what makes it so much fun, and being out here too, and because when we're talking about doing a show in the middle of August in Arkansas, I was like outside. But it
wound up being about as good as it could have been, honestly.
It's great. It's great. Yeah, as long as the rain holds off, which I think it will be.
I think it's going to hold off for a little bit. It's going to be a little windy, but I think we may not see rain for maybe an hour or so. So perfect timing.
Yeah.
Right,
So
how about that?
So are you is Razorback football your number one sport, or are you basketball, baseball?
So I'm probably more baseball. I love football. Don't get me wrong. I was there for the 2010 game. I was a season ticket holder during all those years I lived in Fayetteville. But man, there's something different about going to a baseball game, especially back in the day of the Hog Pen. I know the stadium's changed a little bit, but man, it's just you get a full weekend of excitement. And you're tailgating. I'm a big tailgater. I had a good group of buddies that we all went to school together. A lot of us worked together, and we had 10 to 15 of us. We had our own banners and ready to go. And so that's a lot of time. But I feel like that's very short, right? You get 8 games a year. In baseball, you have a lot more opportunity to make those memories, and so it's actually some of the fondest. When people ask me, what's special about Fayetteville, I'm like, oh, if you haven't experienced a baseball game versus LSU and Baldwin Walker, you don't know anything about Arkansas sports.
It's like baseball. I feel like is the most intimate sport.
Yes,
for especially at Arkansas. I mean, in a lot of places it's like this, but it's like because of that. Over the course of the year, you're just seeing these same dudes every day, and it's like it's a lot of the same people at the park too, and so it like almost becomes like a little bit of like a family atmosphere there a little bit. And with some of these other sports, it's like we don't get to see the team that much. Right. Baseball, they're like, you want to come play third base? Come on down. It's like you're like right there on top of the action. Whereas like basketball, it's like they got their agents that shield them and stuff. Baseball, it's like, dude, they let you just hang out. It's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, we got another one that's we're just having demands being made.
Yeah. While you're taking requests.
It's like ask him to start a Freedom Duck Boats Club of Arkansas. So you got to start one of those too.
Down in Stuttgart. Got it.
Yeah. And also, because we talked about that Liberty Bowl in 2010, that was so cold. I just wanted to share a story from Hog Slop. It says a guy behind us drunkenly puked into the stands, and in the second quarter, and by the end of the game, people were slipping around in his puke that was made of ice.
Oh.
Woo pig is what I say to that. Like that's just
and y'all don't want to go to the Liberty.
Yeah,
Bowl.
I mean, come on. Like it makes it so much nicer. But no, that's the thing now. We've even football and bowl games. Like, of course, the jokes about the Liberty Bowl, but it's almost like the bowl games are just so weird now with because you have no players that are on the same team, and it just gets chaotic. And I almost in a way think it's more entertaining bowl game walk-ons sometimes out there just doing things and all of that. But
I'll be honest with you. I went to a couple years ago, Music City Bowl. You had Iowa, Kentucky, and it had the lowest over/under that had been set for a bowl game, I think, in the history. And going through the first half, I was like, my goodness, they're going to hit the under. I mean, it was the most boring game. I guess was a lot of fun. Is you had Arkansas had the chance to, present some guys that wanted to take advantage of the opportunity, and by goodness, they did that last time. So.
Yeah, Desmond James,
yeah,
one of them.
Yeah, look at him now. He's over in California. He's jacked.
He's 250 pounds now. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing how that works out. So, but no, Aaron, we really appreciate you having us out here. Appreciate Freedom Boat Club and your partnership with us here at Inside Arkansas. It's been awesome, and we've been looking forward to coming down here for a while now. And again, it's been cool. It's been fun, and again, we really appreciate you and everything. I'm telling everybody to text Inside Arkansas to 501-270-6477 to let everybody know where, hey, the first 5 members.
First 5.
50% off your initiation fee.
Yeah.
Hard to beat.
Yeah, we're excited. And get in now, right? You never know when some of those suggestions might come true, might have some new locations popping up. And so, you want to get in early. We love hearing the feedback. We will absolutely get back to y'all as quickly as possible. Because we're excited to bring something new to the state. It's you think about Northwest Arkansas and just the state in general. There's a lot of things that are, as we grow, we get to bring some new benefits, and so we love talking to different Arkansans about some of those opportunities and learning something new. So looking forward to chatting with anybody that reaches out, and appreciate you guys coming down. Appreciate you holding off the weather for us.
That's what we're good for.
Getting a little bit of sweat on out here. So thanks again.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, Aaron. As always, man.
Appreciate it,
buddy. Great.
Thanks, man.
Aaron,
have a great one.
Yep, absolutely. Aaron Quattlebaum of the Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas joining us as we were live from the Hot Springs Marina here in Hot Springs, hanging out and telling you more about it and all the great stuff that's going on. So, yeah, apparently the chat just wanted to be the newest marketing director over there at Freedom Boat Club. He's like, hey, here's what you need to do.
Just placing orders.
Yeah, just making requests.
I got a pond behind my house. Give me a boat.
Think about that old Cache River down there by McCrory, man.
Oh, man. Let's see. So it gets back to your chats again. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us and tuning in with us here today. Basson in the Ozark says, hey, Inside Arkansas, what is Arkansas's biggest / most important question on the football team besides the O-line?
The D-line.
The D-line for sure.
Yeah.
Right, I mean,
Maybe
simple as that.
D-line.
Maybe. Well, I get it with the offensive line because it's always a question for whatever reason, here with Sam Pittman. But, yeah, I think it's pretty clearly defensive line for me.
Are we still there with receiver, or have we graduated to they're going to probably be serviceable enough? I don't think there's a ton of pressure on wide receiver, but I do kind of have a question about, if they have enough firm options in the pass-catching department.
Yeah, I think that they have – when I think about receiver at this point, I think serviceable.
Yeah.
I don't know that I see a bunch of game breakers. I don't know that I see the Andrew Armstrong, replacement, whatever. People are excited about Omega Blake. I think if you have a Taylon Green who is dynamic as people think he might be in year 2, then you have enough at receiver to have a pretty good offense. That's kind of where I'm at.
Well, and also with offense, obviously we know how important receiver can be, how much a game changer like a Traylon Burks can change your offense. But receiver is also kind of an icing. It's a cherry type of thing where it's like, it's not like teams can threaten you if you don't have good receivers. If you don't have good D-line, you don't have a good secondary, teams can really threaten you with that. Arkansas, with what they're going to want to do offensively, they're going to want to make some plays in the passing game, make some plays downfield. But they're also going to be pretty dependent on that run game, if I had to guess.
Yeah, and if Mike Washington is going to win the Heisman and Taylon Green's going to be the next Lamar Jackson, you don't need anybody to throw.
That's right.
You're just read option every play.
Exactly.
So this Petrino's playbook asked a question of saying we're not sold on Monty Harrison being the next Armstrong, but with a crying, laughing emoji. Made me think of a question I wanted to run by you guys. Who ends up with more receiving yards and more production, Antonio Jordan or Monty Harrison for Arkansas this year?
And Monty Harrison.
Give me Monty.
Actually, I had to change my tune there. Yeah,
we're talking about a guy who had 2 70-yard touchdowns against the first-team defense just the other day. So everyone that disagrees with our sentiment that they think the secondary is great. Well, Monty Harrison just tore up that secondary on Saturday. So, I mean,
I've graduated from they're just kind of hyping this guy like they did last year to I'm not – the Monty Harrison all-SEC to the NFL thing would be incredible. I am now on board with Monty Harrison is going to play football for the Razorbacks this year.
I think
he's
he'll
going to
be
play
like
for him.
he'll be like wide receiver 4 or 5. I
Yeah.
feel like,
Yeah.
which I'm not saying it's going to be a huge deal.
Do I got to do my job now?
I was going to say, I was like, Curtis, you better lock in.
Yeah, we're getting a little gusto around here too. So yeah.
I also don't think it's going to be a super high number. I don't think Antonio Jordan's going to have to catch 30 passes to pass Monty Harrison. I think the winner of this is going to catch 15 passes.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I just think it's fascinating because if you think about the wide receivers and who would have guessed that? I mean, we knew Andrew Armstrong was going to be the featured wide receiver, but I don't think anybody would have predicted that he'd lead the SEC in receptions and yardage last year.
Right.
And I think people were like, oh, certain other wide receivers may be involved. Because I remember, guys, and I know you do too. Isaiah Satania was all the rage because they're like, dude, this quick slot receiver guy, just getting the ball. He'd be like Jarius Wright out there. And he had some plays, but it was never anywhere near what it was supposed to be.
Here's the question that I want to ask you guys. Does Arkansas have a wide receiver that will outproduce Isaiah Satania with that degenerate gambler at Oklahoma?
Well, that degenerate gambler at Oklahoma seemed to be a huge fan of Isaiah Satania when he was talking to the media the other day.
I know.
I think Satania is probably going to have 500, 600 yards at Oklahoma. I mean, that's not terribly dissimilar from what he had at Arkansas. What did he have, 400 yards last year? Something like that?
Between 400 and 500.
I think Arkansas will have – I think Omega Blake could have 700 yards.
Yeah.
And that will – I'll say yes. I will say yes.
Yeah. I'll say that too. Because, listen, if they don't, man, because here's the thing. We've been hearing about the offense and how explosive and how awesome it is. All right, so somebody in this wide receiver group, multiple people on this wide receiver group is going to have to go because I do not see one guy on this team being that Andrew Armstrong last year where he just leads the SEC and it's just like that go-to guy. It's going to have to be spread where I'd be shocked. I think that Taylor Green, there's a really good chance he throws for more receiving or more passing yards, but Arkansas does not have one single 1,000-yard receiver.
I can see that. Yeah,
I can see that for sure.
It'd be like 800, 700, 600, like 3 guys right there into the mix. Could totally see it.
Do we think Desmond James will go to Cal in the ACC of all places and outproduce?
I bet
he might have more production than Satania just by virtue of facing worse teams.
Yeah, I have no idea what the situation's like over there
at
Cal.
No, do they have a quarterback? Is that a thing?
I know their quarterback they had last year transferred to some Big Ten school.
Okay.
The Mendoza kid or whatever who's like crying in the interview. I made him my best of the week one time, and then he transfers. He was like, it means so much to be over here. And then he just transfers. But yeah, I don't know what Cal's got going on. I think Desmond James is going to have like a game or two.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be a guy that we look back and we're like, damn, how did Arkansas let him go? You know what I mean? Like, I think he's going to be Keytron Jackson Jr.
Keytron Jackson.
Wow.
That's a name I haven't heard.
Like, Keytron was a nice player, and he had he caught some passes at Baylor, but it's not like we lost sleep over Keytron. I think we're going to not lose sleep over Desmond.
If you had to pick one guy, one former Razorback, who we do that with? Like halfway through the year, we're like, damn, man, we really wish we wouldn't let that guy go.
I'm gonna go TJ Metcalf. I think he's gonna have a game-sealing interception against the Ohio State Buckeyes, and he's gonna be a really nice player, potential draft pick at Michigan, and we're gonna be like, damn,
yeah,
man. And shout out to his brother Tevis too. I mean, I think Tevis is a nice young player as well. I don't know, man.
It's kind of tough after that.
Those Ole Miss guys, there's 7 of them. I don't know if any one of them is going to like really. It's more about the group. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, because Has can't stay healthy. I mean, are we really going to be looking at Patrick Kudis's like every game, and be like, man, look at that guy, just look his pass.
Well, hey, what if? Now, don't yell at me, everybody. This is a what if. What if Kobe Branham is like the weak link of the offensive line as a redshirt freshman, which, by the way, would not be some crazy knock on Kobe Branham. He's a redshirt freshman in the SEC. If Arkansas has like a gaping hole at right guard and Patrick Kudis, gets drafted, I think we would look back at that and be like, damn, that's tough.
I thought you were going to say Josh Brown, but
that's which way you're going to lean on that. No matter what, there's going to be at least one former Razorback that's on another team that's going to have a great year.
Well, you know what? Here's what I'll predict. I see someone in the chat just said Brad Spence. I bet Brad Spence is going to have a good game, and people are going to be like, how the hell they let it? But it's like linebackers like fine. Like Arkansas's fine.
Yeah, they're good there. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he wound up being like a second team All SEC guy, and he gets 90 tackles at Texas or something.
I love
like,
Brad
dang.
Spence, man. I really
Yeah,
did
he
like
was
him.
a lot of fun.
But
It sucked to lose him, but
if there's one position Arkansas could afford to lose a guy, it's probably linebacker.
and he was very much poached,
Yes.
right? Like they identified him and they went and got him.
Yeah.
And,
So let me ask you this: since we're talking about, we're just throwing stuff against the wall.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, no, it's great, man. It's great. It's great. It's fun discussion. So,
Yeah.
which of all the former Razorbacks that Arkansas is going to play against this year, which Razorback would be the most heartbreaking if they had the game-winning play against the Arkansas Razorbacks? Whether it's a defensive player with a pick or an offensive player with a crazy
it would probably
touchdown.
would it be a Jalen Braxton pick
Jalen Braxton
I think
or
it'd be
Has,
tough.
I feel like.
or has
Braxton, weirdly enough, there wasn't that much controversy. I know there was in the moment. Like, people were like
Sure.
very weird. But it's like by the time he actually transferred, we already kind of knew that was happening. With Has, he was such a polarizing guy.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, this time last year, people were talking about Luke Has like he was Brock Bowers. And now for everybody to be like, this guy sucks. And he's not going to play against Arkansas, though, right?
Yeah.
probably not. Yeah, he
Because
won't
it's week 3, so he
Yeah.
won't even be. So he's not even really an option.
And
And they're not going to play Oklahoma. So.
man, I'm thinking Ty Washington getting a catch.
Oh my gosh, I
that-
forgot about
dude,
that.
that's a good one.
The answer.
That's a great
to
one.
me,
That's a
that-
great one, John.
That would be the worst one if goal line stand or something like that, and he catches or they go for 2 because they're down 1. They're like, we're rolling the dice to win it, and he catches the 2-point conversion to win it. Yeah, because
That would be tough.
Ty Washington.
he'd be saying something. He'd be talking. He'd be doing
yeah,
it. He'd be waving by to the crowd. Oh man, that would be.
Well,
yeah,
he
that'd be
did
brutal.
quite the little rip session on the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Yeah, that
a
speech
few
was
weeks
Man,
ago.
yes, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like he talked about the fans. Like, I love the fans and stuff, but yeah, that one would be. Let's just not have any of that happen, and everything will be fine. So, because and then it's the opposite. It's like, who would you feel the best about beating you in a game-winning play? And I'm like, none of them. But
Brad Spence, I guess.
yeah, Brad Spence
Yeah.
getting a fumble recovery.
Yeah,
Like,
Texas just shuts Arkansas down. Brad Spence has 15 tackles and a sack or 2.
Are we allowed to
Jalen
say?
Catalon?
That's what I was about to bring up. Are we allowed to say that now that he's 4 schools removed from
Where's he at now? Purdue.
Missouri?
Yeah.
If
Yes.
Arkansas's fighting for their bowl lives and Jalen Catalon gets the.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Yeah, that would be a tough.
It's not
one.
even an interception either. He pops a receiver and forces a fumble and.
I'm one of the biggest Jalen Catalon haters on this planet, so that really upset me. Yeah, that one's probably like if you just wrote the script because it would be in the season finale where say Arkansas's 5-6 and they're competing. Yeah, that
dude.
Jalen Catalon getting a pick would really piss me
Be a
off.
brutal.
That, like him getting a pick 6 too, because he had a few of those at Arkansas.
Worst
6.
interview player wise at the University of Arkansas because I don't know what it was. He wasn't he was clearly a smart guy, but he would always he just had weird ways of saying things in the press conferences. He would never say anything, but he'd be like, that's just what we do.
Yep.
That's just what we do.
Also, too, the thing about Catalon as well, and because I just already envisioned it, he did something like that, like a game-winning pick 6 or whatever. Drinkwitz would be smoking a cigar again in the press conference. He'd be like, "See, this is why Catalon. He told me just how he was treated at certain schools. I'm not going to name names, but this is why we brought him in for this game, for this moment." Because we knew he would step up with the leadership that other people doubted him on, and what we were the ones that believed in him for this moment. And it's just going to be just twisting the knife.
At least you'd be invited to the celebration with Drink.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
true.
I'm sure it wouldn't be
You'd
awkward
be like
at
John
all.
Bolton in the Ole Miss locker room, just partying it up.
It's like people hate me enough as it is. I don't need to just continue to go down that path. But man, that would be brutal. But so we're all in agreement. So Ty Washington, right, would be the worst.
Yeah.
Ty Washington.
Okay, Washington. So because what is it of all the 12 games Arkansas is playing a former Razorback in half
A lot
of them?
Probably.
Are there
Is
some-
Malik Hornsby still at Arkansas State?
I was about to say there might be
That's a good
some.
question.
Dude, Malik Hornsby having
What about
9
that?
receptions.
What about that
for
tight
100.
end from Hazen? Is he over there? Blaine Toll.
No,
Is he-
he can't be playing football anymore, right?
Well, did he ever play at all?
Maybe. I don't know.
There might be a few Red Wolves. over
I mean,
there.
I don't know if he's still on the team. How do you know if a guy's on? I see the 2024 roster from Malik Hornsby, but I don't
Yeah,
know if
probably
he's
not.
Yeah, maybe
Still on the
you might have to
team.
pull up just their current 2025. Just look up Arkansas State 2025 roster. Let me do the
They've
math.
got to
though.
have some guys.
He
that-
was a true freshman in 2020. So that year doesn't count. 21, 22, 23, 24. He shouldn't be. Although
Yeah, I
maybe
don't know
one
if
of
he
those
had an
could have been a
injury
red
or
shirt or
something.
something.
Okay, well, how are they? Oh, it's by number. I don't want to do that stuff.
Yeah.
Sort by name.
There we go. We're getting there, guys.
Yeah,
We're getting there.
Yeah, we're doing this in live action right now. There is no Hornsby.
No Hornsby.
No Hornsby. So I was going to
He's-
see if there's any other, like, because sometimes Arkansas State will have a random, like, oh, yeah, that guy that never played. Like,
Missouri
transferred.
Madison.
Missouri Madison.
Missouri
Oh,
Madison.
my. Yeah, there it is.
Keep
So,
going.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
Go to
like
the,
here,
go to the T's.
the T's.
Yeah.
Like Micah Tees.
There, that's it. On the T's right there is Taylor
Okay,
Thomas.
Okay.
I guess I could have just done the old Control F thing, and because when it say, so Missouri Madison, that's pretty much it. So,
Yeah.
so
All right, well,
I mean,
Okay.
so pretty much the point is like they're pretty much going to be facing
was
former Razorback.
Missouri Madison the scooter guy?
He was.
Yes.
Tore his shit in spring ball
Gosh.
on a scooter.
Man, that's brutal.
Him and Posky. Posky was a scooter guy as well.
Well, shout out to I like this from Hayden. He just says, Catalan going to be playing the last game of the regular season?
Come on.
I mean, it's
It's a valid
I-
question.
For Jay, I really do genuinely, and
Yes.
I'm a hater. I do genuinely hope he plays
I do too.
12 games this season.
I
Yeah.
do too. So, point is, so you're Notre Dame, Arkansas State, Ole Miss. You got
Anybody in
Tennessee?
Tennessee?
no Tennessee, no LSU.
It's thundering.
Yeah, Missouri.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, listen, we're getting close to wrapping up anyway. It's gonna be
Or
perfectly
did you do the
timed.
counting thing?
Yeah,
See
what
how
is it?
far away it is?
Yeah,
It's like once the thunder happened, or once the lightning. What is it? It's like
it's like the lightning hits,
Lightning,
and then you
and then-
count,
yeah.
and it's like that many of tens of miles away or something like that. Yeah, I'm sure they do it for Razorback baseball whenever there's a lightning
I'm
delay.
sure it's accurate. Dude.
Yeah, 100%. Let's see. Also, Woo MF Pig just says, how much money for John to jump into the lake? Not enough. Not enough.
Yeah. There'll be no lake jumping.
No, well, not lake jump. Not here, man. You'll get shocked by getting here into the marina with all the electrical stuff. It's not a swimming area. They have those set and squared away other places too. But this is great. But here at Hot Springs Marina too, they have if you get the boats, they have life jackets for you. They got tubes. They got
What
paddle
are
Big
boats.
those?
Thriller?
Those big mats, man.
Those
You
are
just
the,
put on the water and
what do they call them? Oh,
I
because we
see,
have
like-
lily pad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put them in the
Seems
back
like-
of the boat.
Several people can hop around on those.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Very
yeah.
cool.
So they got it all here. And again, it's here at Freedom Boat Club here at the Hot Springs Marina. They got it here at Lake Hamilton Hot Springs. They got a Greer's Ferry right there on the river in Little Rock, and they also are going to have more locations coming soon here in Arkansas too. So, but it's been awesome, guys. It's been awesome being out here. It's good to have us together once again and doing the show. And again, if you want more information on joining the Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas, because it's an awesome thing. Aaron's been great with us, and it's definitely something worth checking into if you're a big boat person and want to, impress the family, impress the coworkers, impress everybody. You'd be like, hey, I got a boat, and it's with Freedom Boat Club. You might as well just claim it as yours because it's yours without all the nonsense, without all having to pay maintenance on it and having to slip or having to pull it down or anything like that. So just text Inside Arkansas, 2 words, Inside Arkansas to 501-270-6477. You can also check it out at freedomboatclubar.com. Get 50% off your initiation fee for all that join here today. So, again, guys, this was great. Any final thoughts before we roll out of here from Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas and Hot Springs?
I love the idea of being part of a boat club. You can plan your vacations around it.
Mm-hmm.
Just go vacay where there's another one.
Yeah. I mean, how many
That's-
times have
that's-
you joined a club where you're like how many? There's not bad clubs, but when you got
Yeah.
a boat, it's the best
Yeah.
type of club.
That's pretty cool. That's my final thought is that I kind of want to do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I would love to just be in Florida and just be like, oh, you guys want to go on the boat today? All right, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lake Como, Italy. Yeah, let's go. Let's
Yeah,
go
we
pull up the marina right over
Yeah,
here.
what is the first thing? Vancouver?
Australia,
Canada?
too?
We're good.
Yep.
I like that.
Yep. Just be like, it's like, but Andrew, how do you have a boat? Oh, Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas. You ever heard of it?
Boats follow me.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Wherever I go, the boat club is there, no matter what the body of water. But yeah, it's been awesome. Appreciate everybody listening in and watching in with us here at Inside Arkansas Live. Be sure to subscribe to us here at Inside Arkansas, and be sure to send that text again to Freedom Boat Club to learn more about their great club here inside Arkansas. Just text it to 501-270-6477. Today, only 50% off that initiation fee here with Freedom Boat Club. Again, we appreciate them. Appreciate Hot Springs Marina for letting us come out here and making it possible because we had to run some wires and some equipment. You can't see it, but it was a complex thing, but we got it done, and we really appreciate them. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody. And that'll do it for us here of Inside Arkansas Live. So for Andrew Ellis, Curtis Wilkerson, I'm John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel. Tomorrow afternoon. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. We'll see you then.